You are listening to Toronto's only pure metal show, The Red Switch.
Kicking on the low end, you know what I mean? It's thicker.
I like recording with analog and like tape and stuff like that. In terms of releases, it's good to have a 7-inch. I'm not so big on cassettes now. That's really on its way out. 7-inch is cool for the niche market and, like I say, the collectability. But I'm a big CD fan, so I'm going to make sure anything we have released, I'm also going to put on CD for, because it's really easy to play it that way. Mm-hmm. I can't stand MP3 format. I never converted to MP3 with iPods like other people did. It's just the quality.
Or the Zoom. Don't forget about the Microsoft.
Yeah, the quality's so much worse on MP3 than CD. If you have good speakers, you can really hear the pixelization in the MP3s compared to the CD tracks. So it just kind of annoys me that everything's moved to a higher technology, like an easy, accessible technology, but downgraded the quality. So
yeah,
I find that frustrating. So I mean, ultimately, there's going to be MP3s of things, but I'd like to stick to a digital format and analog formats like vinyl.
Well, analog is like a dying breed now, from my understanding now. So I mean, that would be cool to do something in analog on the old tapes, because I know I remember one album, one of the old Cathedral albums. I remember everybody was going digital, but they ended up doing one of those old Cathedral albums still on analog on the tapes, just for the fact that they wanted to have extra thickness, the heaviness, because they are a heavy band. That's one instance I could think of where
So there's a method to your madness. The way you guys record it onto different formats, you're not trying to distance yourself from listeners. It's just because you guys feel this is the best way to record Avon Dealer. This is what Avon Dealer sounds best as on various elements.
Yeah.
This question's actually a very tough, deep question. I hope you guys tackle it the best way you can.
I love hard questions.
What's the best part about playing Fox McCloud on the Lilat system?
You have to ask Roland that one. I know. I actually was Fox McCloud on my old
N64.
No, it wasn't SNES.
No, N64.
Really?
It could have been.
No, well, I had the what I believe the first Star. Is that Star Fox? Fox McCloud is from Star Fox.
No? Yeah, that's Star Fox. Yes.
Well, I had a Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and I actually played the game, and it was a killer game. And I beat it. I made it to the last boss. Roland?
What system did you ask?
It was about the, Stefano, you were playing the one before N64.
Yes.
I never had that one.
Yes. There's a game, Star Fox.
Yeah, I know about Star Fox. So what system did you mention?
It was from the Lilat system. It's part of the game. One of your tracks is called...
Lee wrote it.
Oh, yeah, the
Star Fox song?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. He just did the lyrics. I haven't even had a chance to
we haven't had the chance to read the lyrics yet.
I've heard their vocals when we had our jam on Sunday, but I haven't actually read the lyrics yet. The only lyrics I remember from track 3, which is the Lilat system, I guess that's what he called it, was the barrel roll right, barrel roll left. That was really funny.
Oh,
yeah. It's actually quite a thrill when they drop new lyrics. Like, I just want to focus on the track, because what happens is, especially Lee, he starts jumping in the air and gets so enthusiastic that I have to try not to look at him when I'm playing drums or get psyched out and start laughing, right? But it's a good energy, and I can only imagine what it's going to be like on stage.
The only reason I picked that out is because when I saw the Lilat part, I'm like, I was a big Star Fox fan.
Yeah, well, we never really had any kind of preconceived notion about what the songs are going to be about or anything. We pretty much just worked on the music, and then Lee and Riley, the vocalists, just figure out any kind of thing which they wanted to do. And Lee was saying he was going to make a song about Star Fox, the game, which I actually owned at one point. Yeah. So it's pretty much whatever they want to do is cool with us. See what I mean? They did a song about Star Fox, and there you go. You know about the story, right? So you can connect with that song, right?
Yeah. That was a good song, either way. You guys call yourselves an experimental project. My question to you is, what exactly are you guys, experimenting with or testing with here?
The way I look at it, experimental, is my whole idea is, and sometimes I get in creative arguments with Stefano because he wants me to play drums a certain way or vice versa, sometimes with him a guitar, but experimental I look at as everyone just bring to the front what they want to do for the song, rather than trying to have creative control and say, well, I want you to play this, I want you to play it. Sometimes we'll have an idea and kind of throw it out there, but I think everyone just kind of comes and plays whatever they play. I think that's what's going to bring it the experimental
It's
level.
experimental because, like I said, we never decided we had to be this or that. We just came out naturally, like a lot of bands do, anyways. And then I guess it's experimental in that aspect.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want us to sound like one of those bands where every song sounds the same. I mean, I don't mind if people can pick out a general sound that, like, okay, that's Avon Dealer, but there's too many, especially in the underground metal scene, bands are just like, okay, they'll just blast for 8 bars and they'll double bass for 8 bars and they'll blast for it's so boring.
Yeah.
You know, and it's nice to have songs where every song pretty much sounds different, you know, and it gives character, and then you can have, you know, the people in the crowd that like that song or this song, and then you get kind of a neat little crowd coming out to check out the band.
Would you think that's laziness or just trying to fit into a style that you think underground listeners want to hear?
What do you mean?
Well, you know, the blast parts and then just mellowing out and then blast.
I mean, they do want to hear that.
Yeah.
And it works. And, you know, there's a lot of these bands that do the same thing over and over again and don't progress at all, like Cannibal Corpse. That's a good example. Have a huge fan base. And it works for them. But for me, you know, it's so boring. It's like impeding my growth as a person to, like, stick to one thing.
He has a point. Like, you know, some bands, you know, they got a formula that works. They stick to it, you know what I mean? 8 albums later, you know, they're doing the exact same things, and there's like another 100 bands trying to copy them, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You got to try to change things up, you know, don't be afraid to experiment with other things like that, you know what I mean? You got to keep it interesting, you know what I mean? Different sounds, different styles, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys have pitch shift vocals in your music. For those that say that's cheating, what do you say?
Since when are the rules?
That's a good thing, though. That's a good question.
Well, we have both. Because Lee sings clean. He's doing his like grind fadoey type gurgle thing. I don't know. I don't know what style that is, but he's doing that, you know, without any. It sounds awesome.
Yeah,
sounds awesome. And then Lee's also, Riley's doing the pitch shifted vox, which he's always done, from my experience, with God. So between the two, I think it's a cool mix. I kind of enjoy it. Yeah. The majority of the bands I personally listen to don't use a pitch shifted vox, but when I do hear it, I don't mind it. Like, I like Cock and Ball Torture, for example, is one band that uses it heavy on that.
Yeah.
I think they're awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I like G.O.D. You know, I don't got a problem with it.
I think it's a real knucklehead thing, and it's like, you know, I used to walk that stubborn death metal only path and all this crap, but, you know, let's you take the effects off your guitar and see how heavy it sounds clean with no distortion, right?
There you go.
All
Good
it
example.
is a distortion pedal for the vocals,
that's
right?
true as well.
So I mean, to have that view that it has to be, as soon as you start to get into rules and have to be, you limit creative ability.
Yeah.
And then that's what I mean about the boring bands that don't progress, because they're have to be. But I mean, if that's the fan base they want, that's great. For me, I think it's primitive.
I've always had this theory that the vocalist or any vocals in any band is sort of been a musician in his own right, or his or her right.
Of course,
that's a musical.
Absolutely.
You got a
instrument.
song. You got a song that's being presented to you. Now, where are you going to put the vocals in this? What are you going to be doing? Vocals is very, very could change the whole song like right away. Like,
I wrote the lyrics to track 5, "The Evolution of Job," and I based it on the Lawnmower Man. But I didn't have a clue how to do the vocals. I'm just like, okay, this would sound cool. But I gave it to them. I said, look, this is what I came up with. You guys can scrap it, change around, do whatever you want. Just make it sound cool.
Yeah.
And they did. They made it sound great, and I think they actually liked that. But I mean, I did at a point where they were kind of busy with their other projects, so I did it as kind of like a little fire starter, just to get them writing lyrics for the other songs, because I was like getting frustrated. I'm like, oh, they don't have lyrics yet. Fine, I'm writing lyrics, you know.
Yeah.
And it was actually a really fun experience. I wouldn't mind writing more, but at the same time, when I was writing them, I couldn't picture how they would sound. I'm just trying to find things that fit into the timing by remembering the song and where it should go.
Yeah.
I think to get back to the pitch shifted vox. I think it adds another extremity to the music.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, even if you wanted to lighten things up, as soon as you got those those vocals in there, I mean, that's like, it's not human. You know what I mean?
I think
So.
yeah.
I mean, when anybody hears it, they're like, "Holy shit!" Like,
Yeah,
this is,
that's
like,
not
fucking out
some
of this
guy with a
world.
deep voice. That's
No,
Yeah.
and then it keeps it underground. You know what I mean? Mind you, could do the same with the death metal vox or whatever. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But no, I enjoy it.
I think the pitch shifted vocals, they add an atmosphere.
Yeah.
Because they're like sound effects, right? They're like, because you said they're even more inhuman. It's I like that. Riley will lay down like kind of the atmosphere with the gory vocals, and then Lee will come on top with percussive kind of punchy vocals. And I think it really works together. I mean, they both complement each other.
Yeah. What's the biggest problem with music in big cities such as Toronto? I mean, I was at a show with you guys that you're supposed to play.
Excommunicated show, we were there. Yeah, we were hanging there.
And it was, probably not the best turnout you could hope for. But in terms of that, in the spectrum of the entire city,